Hey guys, welcome back to Bass Pro TV. Today's episode we're going to be talking about fishing on the bank and fishing on a boat. Is there a difference? Maybe there is, maybe there's not. Hey, stay tuned and find out. Hey guys, welcome back again to Bass Pro TV, and my name is BJ McVeigh, and today again we're going to be talking about bank fishing mostly, but also boat position as well and how they're similar. There's really no difference between the two. You know, I asked if there's a difference between fishing on the bank and fishing on the boat. The only difference is the amount of water that you can cover, okay? That is it. Now, you can still cover that same water by getting back in your car and moving to a different location if you're not in an area where you're fishing is very good. However, you may want to do that regardless after you learn how to be more successful fishing off the bank. That's really the goal today, is to get more successful fishing off the bank. I know a lot of people that go bank fishing and they're kind of just, well, I almost caught one, or no, we didn't even get a bite. We were out there for 4 hours. And it's just like, you know, I want to be able to increase your chances. I have grown up fishing on the bank. That's, you know, I lived on a small pond. That's all I did every day was walk that pond and I'd fish the bank. So I developed these techniques that will help you become better, that I have learned over the time. So here's what we're going to talk about. When you go down to the bank, okay, first off, bass are not going to sit there and just be out in the middle of the lake, pond, wherever you're at. They're not just going to be sitting there in 5-6 feet of water, 20 feet of water all the time, okay? So when you're on the bank, you need to understand what you're doing is trying to catch the fish that are up feeding. So they're not going to be 25 feet off the bank. The most common mistake that I see is people will take their baits and they will cast them directly where they're standing and direct them straight out. And they'll just keep doing that over and over again. They're casting and reeling in the same line. They might cast left, they might cast right, but it's still the same line. It's about a 10 to 15 foot radius of casting in 20 feet of water and reeling it back into 5 feet of water. The problem with this is you're not covering enough water. So bass are going to stage in areas. I hate to break it to you, but they're not apex predators that you think they are. They are actually, they get predated, you know, they also get eaten by other fish. They have to protect themselves. So what you're going to find is they are going to want to get themselves somewhere, whether it be a log, a stick, a branch, a bush, grass, lily pads. They're going to find something that's next to deep water, but near shallow water that protects them, yet they can also get an easy meal. That being said, take a check and look at these video feeds that I've got here, and I'll discuss exactly what I'm talking about, okay?
All right, so as you can see, this bass is up against the bank. However, he's also next to a tall piece of grass. Now, if you keep moving forward here, we go to the next video, what you're going to notice is there's a bass up against the bank and also getting protected by a lay down tree. And there's another bass right there who's also next to some grass. So you can see bass aren't just going to find places to just feed. They're also going to look for these edges. They are so attracted to edges. They're going to have lay downs. There's going to be grass, some type of structure that helps them protect themselves and also gives them a chance to ambush any prey that they're after, or any type of food source that they're looking for, whether it be minnows, crawdads, frogs. They're going to find something to relate to. So that's what you want to look out for.
So as you can see by watching that video, bass aren't just going to be free roaming, not always. Now you notice you saw one that was swimming around. That's generally what they're doing. They're swimming to get to a location. You can throw a bait at them all day long. The chances of you catching that bass that's moving, trying to get somewhere, is kind of slim to none. They generally ignore your bait, if not swim away faster. So it's better to focus on trying to catch those bass that are already staged. So what does that mean? So on this next diagram I'm going to show you, this is what I mean. You want to make long casts down the side of the bank where you're standing. You want to pick a direction and you want to go. Now you also want to pay attention to detail in the water. So you want to find those dark colored objects real deep in the water, like 5 foot, 6 foot area. You see anything that doesn't look normal, out of the ordinary, sometimes it's a boulder, a rock, a barrel, a tree, a bush, anything like that. You want to look for those things. That's where you want to spend time casting and focusing. You don't want to just go by those things and take one cast at them. You want to take multiple casts. Sometimes you might want to try throwing multiple things. What I like to do when I see those things is fish for 3 bites. The 3 bites are a territorial bite, a hunger bite, or reaction bite, okay? Now the 2 bites, a territorial and a hunger bite, you generally can get, I'm sorry, not a territorial, I lied. The hunger bite and the reaction bite, you can get with the same bait, okay? Generally a search bait is what you like to throw to find those fish and get them to bite. A search bait or reaction bait is generally something that moves quickly, like a crankbait or a spinnerbait. That's one of my favorite ones to throw, is a spinnerbait with a nice little trailer on it. I generally like to have something like this, or a chatterbait, something thrown on that I can whip in there, make multiple casts, cover lots of water, and get that fished area and try to get that reaction or hunger strike. Now, if I don't get a bite, I don't stop there. I generally have 2 pulls with me, and the other one's gonna have more of a territorial bite, something that is going to stay in the strike zone a lot longer. Something like a nice little 8-inch shaky head on a shaky worm. I'll take that and I'll whip that sucker in there, and I'll really cover that zone really thoroughly. That is the key when you're fishing the bank, to find those things and spend time focusing on those areas. I can tell you how many times I've thrown a spinnerbait, I've thrown a crankbait, and then I slow down and I fish a territorial bite, and then I'll catch 1, sometimes 2 fish, just slowing down and fishing that territorial bite instead. So when you see those different areas along the bank, slow down at that key moment and really thoroughly fish it. Make lots of fan casts starting shallow and work your way out. Sometimes you can even, those little structures can go out 10, 15 feet depending on what they are. For example, sometimes there's pipes that they'll take from land and go all the way down in the water for boat docks and stuff like that, to get themselves a drain or a water pipe, water source from the actual lake. So those pipes can be a key factor for fish to hold on, just because they're big enough that they can feel comfortable leaning up against it. So those will go out quite a ways. So it doesn't make sense to avoid that. Try to catch a fish there, okay? If you don't, also, I do recommend getting yourself a pair of polarized sunglasses. That will really help you find these things that I'm talking about. I can't stress it enough. Taking the glare off the lake and being able to see deep is a key benefit for you in fishing. And I tell you, I will not go out without a pair of polarized sunglasses. I have some right here. It doesn't matter. Obviously the more expensive you get, the better quality you're gonna get, but you're still gonna get the same result on a pair of $20 Walmart polarized sunglasses, okay? Please get a pair. It will benefit you. You will not be sorry that you got them. You'll be more sorry that you don't have them, okay? So take them, use them, find those dark areas, those high-low areas. Those are another things to pay attention to. And also you want to cover lots of water. You don't want to just stand in one spot and fish that area for an hour on one spot. Get moving, make casts, move, make casts and move. Now, if I don't see anything that looks appealing to a fish, I'm moving. Like, I'll make casts just in case, I don't see something there, that happens. But for the most part, I'm moving at that point. So I'm gonna make my cast. I'm gonna fan cast again. Fan cast is key. Start shallow, work your way out. I always stop at about 10 foot. That's the last time I make a cast, unless there's a reason for me to continue out, like I said earlier. But for the most part, it's just 3 to 4, maybe 5 casts, making fan casts going down bank. And I pick a direction, like I said, and I go down bank. Now, just like this diagram, check this diagram out. This is what I mean. This diagram shows the edge of the lake and kind of how bass are gonna hold. You can see I've got grass painted on the top, and then there's a bass hanging out there on that edge, and then I got a bass that's right off the point. This is key, especially when you're walking on the bank. Now, notice there's a kayak there. That's what I mean by there's really no difference. If you're in a boat or a kayak, you need to be doing the same thing. You need to be going down bank. You don't need to be casting to the bank and reeling in, casting the bank, reeling in. You're not covering enough water that way, and you're gonna have a chance potentially of missing a fish that you could have caught. So cover as much water and stay in that strike zone as much as possible. That's how you're gonna get yourself some more fish. So even on the bank and you're coming up, that's a point that I got pictured there. So this is a point. You're going to cast out down this point, and you're gonna make all the way past the point and reel in across any type of structure, anything of that nature. Again, cast all the way past. That's the dotted line there. Go past and reel in front. Now, this is where you'll start noticing that you'll get hits. You'll get a hit, you'll get a hit, you get a hit, you get a bite, you catch some fish, okay? That's where they hold on to, these off-key edges and ledges. Now, the nice thing about points, they generally are shallow at the tip and have deeper water on the outsides of them. So you can cover a lot more water on a point than you could on a flat ground. So definitely make sure you pay attention to those things while you're walking the bank. Pay attention to your points. Pay attention to your inlets. Inlets are cuts that come back inside and create almost like a round bowl from the main edge of the bank. Usually they have deeper water, and generally they have lots of nice little appealing bushes and trees and laydowns for fish and bass to come into and feed. So you want to, again, cast down bank. Don't be casting out unless you have a reason to. Don't cast out, cast down bank. This is going to guarantee you at least a better success rate from catching a fish and not catching a fish, okay? It's never gonna be a 100% day. We all have the days where we don't catch fish, okay? But I can tell you this, I'm well over the days of going out and catching a fish than I am the days going out and not catching a fish, and that's because I follow this simple rule. Cast down bank and use yourself those search baits. Use them. Cover lots of water and stay in the strike zone as long as possible. Can't stress that enough. So again, hey, thanks for watching. Go out, catch some more fish. If you liked what you saw, hit that like button down there. And if you really wanted more videos and see, get more tips and hints about how you can go out and have more success on the water, hit that subscribe button right down there. You guys, thank you so much. I love you. Again, my name is BJ McVeigh, and this is Bass Bro TV. We'll catch you next time.